Hi guys, I'm Liz, and my two words to describe my life before knowing Christ and after knowing Christ are longing and peaceful. I became a Christian in 7th grade at a church summer camp, but before college my relationship with the Lord was small and hardly existent. I thought that I had a good life. I had a great family and friends. I got good grades. I was on a good soccer team. I went to church and gained a lot of head knowledge about Jesus, but rarely did I ever let that knowledge transform the way I lived my life. And although my life looked good on the outside, I was rarely ever at peace. No amount of validation from friends, soccer coaches, or teachers could ever satisfy me. Everything was a competition. With every amount of validation gained, there was always something else. There was always someone I wanted to be better than in everything. And I did, whether it was being a better soccer player or a better student or even just a more likable person. I longed for validation in areas where no amount of validation would ever be enough. I was completely for my own self-gain and thought little about others and even less about God. It was a downward spiral. There was always something else to achieve. When I came to U of I, everything that I held so tightly and chose to define myself in high school and even my first year of college was taken away from me. I wasn't playing soccer anymore. I wasn't a good student based on my GPA at the time, and because I was at a new school, I really didn't have any friends. And so I felt really lost, but rather than turning to God, I turned to people and chose to act the way I thought that they would want me to act in order for them to like me more and to gain their approval. My actions drew me further and further away from the Lord, and no amount of approval from them was ever enough. There were rare moments when I would see my life for what it was. It was a losing battle, and it caused me more hurt and worry than I would have admitted. And in this worry, instead of turning to God, my solution was to tell myself that I didn't care. I wanted to callous my heart to the things that were bothering me and ignore the message that God so desperately wanted me to understand, which was that nothing in this world will ever satisfy me like He will. Then when I went to a conference with Crew 2 years ago in December, my whole life turned around. The Lord showed me that I do not need those things I so desperately desired. He showed me a new joy I had never really experienced in my life. It was so freeing that I just couldn't get enough of Jesus. I had finally found the peace and joy that I had sought after. I stopped sacrificing my relationship with the Lord for approval from others. And the Lord started changing my thoughts, and then after that my actions to be more focused on Him rather than myself. The way I lived each day was changing drastically. But my life didn't necessarily become easier. I still encountered tough situations with school and friends, but in all of those hard situations there was a hope that I knew would never fail. There was a peace that surpassed any sort of peace that I could ever attain on my own. And Jesus brought so much joy into my life that I had always just longed after. I have always been a pretty optimistic person, but the joy that I find in Him each day is so much deeper than anything that this world has to offer. And in that, there is truly this amazing peace. So I'm Liz, and my two words were longing, but now I am peaceful.